Hey business minds and entrepreneurs. Welcome back to Business Mind Talks channel. Are you tired of mediocre teams that stumble and fumble? Do you crave the fire, the magic, the insanity that fuels innovation and pushes boundaries? Then buckle up, because we're diving into the mind of a maestro, a man who built empires with his bare hands and a band of misfits. Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs, the visionary who redefined technology and ignited a cultural revolution. But beyond the sleek gadgets and dazzling presentations, his true genius lay in his ability to build and lead extraordinary teams. Today, we delve into the mind of a master builder, uncovering the secrets behind his remarkable teams. This is not just about Apple, it's about harnessing the power of collaboration to achieve greatness in any field. The A-team mentality. Jobs wasn't interested in average. He craved the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels. He believed that only a team of A players could achieve his audacious goals.
The dynamic range between average and the best is at most 2 to 1. Right? Like if you go to New York City and you get an average taxi cab driver versus the best taxi cab driver, you're probably going to get to your destination with the best taxi cab maybe 30% faster. In an automobile, what's the difference between an average and the best? Maybe, 20%. The best CD player and an average CD player, 20%. So 2 to 1 is a big dynamic range in most of life. In software, and it used to be the case in hardware too, the difference between average and the best is 50 to 1, maybe 100 to 1. Easy. Okay? Very few things in life are like this. But what I was lucky enough to spend my life in is like this. And so I've built a lot of my success off finding these truly gifted people and not settling for B and C players, but really going for the A players. And I found something. I found that when you get enough A players together, when you go through the incredible work to find 5 of these A players, they really like working with each other because they've never had a chance to do that before. And they don't want to work with B and C players. And so it becomes self-policing, and they only want to hire more A players. And so you build up these pockets of A players, and it propagates. And that's what the Mac team was like. They were all A players. And these were extraordinarily talented people.
But it wasn't just about individual brilliance. Jobs fostered an environment where A players could play together, where collaboration wasn't just tolerated, it was celebrated. Shared mission and insane passion. Jobs didn't just hire, he inspired. He painted a picture of the future, not just a product roadmap. He made his team believe they were changing the world, one pixel at a time. Jobs clip.
People say you have to have a lot of passion for what you're doing, and it's totally true. And the reason is because it's so hard that if you don't, any rational person would give up. It's really hard, and you have to do it over a sustained period of time. So if you don't love it, if you're not having fun doing it, you don't really love it, you're going to give up. And that's what happens to most people, actually. If you really look at the ones that ended up being successful, unquote, in the eyes of society, and the ones that didn't. Oftentimes, it's the ones that are successful loved what they did so they could persevere when it got really tough. And the ones that didn't love it quit because they're sane, right? Who would want to put up with this stuff if you don't love it? So it's a lot of hard work, and it's a lot of worrying constantly. And if you don't love it, you're going to fail. So you got to love it. You got to have passion. And I think that's the high order bit. The second thing is you've got to be a really good talent scout, because no matter how smart you are, you need a team of great people, and you've got to figure out how to size people up fairly quickly, make decisions without knowing people too well, and hire them and, you know, see how you do and refine your intuition and be able to help, you know, build an organization that can eventually just, you know, build itself, because you need great people around you.
This shared passion fueled a relentless pursuit of excellence. Jobs demanded the best, not because he was a tyrant, but because he believed in the potential of his team to create something truly remarkable. Trust and open conflict. Jobs wasn't afraid of conflict. He believed that great ideas emerge from healthy debate, from challenging assumptions and pushing boundaries.
If we're on the same management team and a decision has to be made and I decide in a way that you don't like, and I say, come on, buy into the decision. You know, buy into it. But we're all on the same team. You don't agree, but buy into it. Let's go make it happen. Because what happens is sooner or later, you're paying somebody to do what they think is right, but then you're trying to get them to do what they think isn't right. And sooner or later it outs, and you end up having that conflict. So I've always felt that the best way is to get everybody in a room and talk it through until you agree. Now that's not everybody in the company, but that's everybody that's really involved in that decision that needs to execute. And so that's how we try to run Next. The way we run Next is we have a team at the top we call the policy team. There's 8 people. Mike is on it, I'm on it, we have 6 other people on it. And the key we have 2 things we try to do. One is we try to differentiate between the really important decisions and the ones that we don't have to make. And the really important ones, we work on it so we all agree. Because we're paying people to tell us what to do. In other words, I don't view that we pay people to do things. That's easy to find people to do things. What's harder is to find people to tell you what should be done, right? That's what we look for. So we pay people a lot of money, and we expect them to tell us what to do. And so when that's your attitude, you shouldn't run off and do things if people don't all feel good about it. And the key to making that work is to realize there's not that many things that any one team really has to decide. We might have 25 really important things we have to decide on a year. Not a lot. So that's how we try to run it. Sometimes it works, and sometimes it's still working. I can't think of once, maybe there's once or twice, but I can't even recall a time when I've said, damn it, I'm the CEO and we're doing it this way. You know? I can recall a time when I've said, we don't see eye to eye and you're off the team. Yeah? I've had to say that once or twice over a prolonged period of time when a person has not wanted to go in the same direction we've wanted to go in as a team. It's my job every once in a while to say, hey, you want to go this way? We want to go this way. It's not working. So, but when people are on the team, then we work it out.
But trust was paramount. Jobs empowered his team, giving them ownership and autonomy. He knew that micromanaging would stifle creativity and passion. Breaking the chains of hierarchy. Jobs hated bureaucracy. He believed that hierarchy stifled creativity and slowed progress. He flattened the organizational structure, creating an environment where ideas could flow freely, regardless of title or position.
One of the keys to Apple is Apple's an incredibly collaborative company. And so, you know how many committees we have at Apple?
No.
0. We have no committees.
No committee.
We are organized like a startup. One person's in charge of iPhone OS software. One person's in charge of Mac hardware. One person's in charge of iPhone hardware engineering. Another person's in charge of worldwide marketing. Another person's in charge of operations. We're organized like a startup. We're the biggest startup on the planet. And we all meet for 3 hours once a week, and we talk about everything we're doing, the whole business. And there's tremendous teamwork at the top of the company, which filters down to tremendous teamwork throughout the company. And teamwork is dependent on trusting the other folks to come through with their part without watching them all the time, but trusting that they're going to come through with their parts. And that's what we do really well. And we're great at figuring out how to divide things up into these great teams that we have and all work on the same thing, touch bases frequently, and bring it all together into a product. We do that really well. And so what I do all day is meet with teams of people and work on ideas and solve problems to make new products, to make new marketing programs, whatever it is.
And are people willing to tell you you're wrong?
Yeah.
I mean, other than snarky journalists. I mean, people that work.
Oh, yeah. No, we have wonderful arguments.
And do you win them all?
Oh, no, I wish I did. No, see, you can't. If you want to hire great people and have them stay working for you, you have to let them make a lot of decisions, and you have to be run by ideas, not hierarchy. The best ideas have to win.
So
otherwise, good people don't stay.
This open culture fostered a sense of belonging, a feeling that everyone was part of something bigger than themselves. The legacy of Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs' teams didn't just create products, they created movements. They redefined industries, changed the way we live, and inspired generations of innovators.
When you grow up, you tend to get told that the world is the way it is, and your life is just to live your life inside the world, try not to bash into the walls too much, try to have a nice family life, have fun, save a little money. But life, that's a very limited life. Life can be much broader once you discover one simple fact, and that is everything around you that you call life was made up by people that were no smarter than you. And you can change it, you can influence it, you can build your own things that other people can use. And the minute that you understand that you can poke life and actually something will, if you push in, something will pop out the other side, that you can change it, you can mold it. That's maybe the most important thing, is to shake off this erroneous notion that life is there and you're just going to live in it, versus embrace it, change it, improve it, make your mark upon it. I think that's very important. And however you learn that, once you learn it, you'll want to change life and make it better, because it's kind of messed up in a lot of ways. Once you learn that, you'll never be the same again.
His legacy is not just in the technology, but in the way he built and led his teams. He showed us that by assembling a team of passionate A players, uniting them with a shared mission, and fostering an environment of trust, open communication, and innovation, we can achieve anything we set our minds to. So, are you ready to build a great team? Take inspiration from Steve Jobs' playbook. Hire the best, paint a picture of the future, trust your team, and let the sparks fly. Remember, greatness is not achieved alone, it's built together. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button below.